Yes! How is it going? Happy Friday, people. It is your boy Offbeat in the hot seat with a cold bev, ready to have some Friday drinks with you. I hope you're cool. There's no one here. I haven't got anything planned for the stream today. I was just editing a video, and it was about 2 minutes to 6, and I was like, shit, better start that stream. Quickly Googled some 90s cartoons because I said I would do a 90s cartoon stream at some point, but I've just written down a couple basically. So if anyone wants to join me and discuss 90s cartoons, we can. Otherwise, I will prepare for that stream and do it properly at some point. So I hope you guys are good. What's going on? Octave says hello, Sir Ollie of Bristol. What's up, Octave? How you doing, man? So it's saying there's a couple people now. I was going to say my chat software was saying there was no one watching, and then Odd Chat was chatting to me. I was like, what's going on? But apparently there are a couple of people watching, so all good. How you doing, mate? Haven't seen you for a couple of streams. I hope you're cool. Violet Vivid says, hey, what's up, Violet? Good to see you. How are you guys? I'm having a little drink tonight because it's Friday, and it's just like the weather's so gorgeous, isn't it? That like all I want to do is go to the pub, and I can't. So I thought I'd have a few drinks with you lot. Sort my barnet out as well because I'm not sure what's quite going on there. Violet says, stares creepily, we're watching you. That's a little bit creepy. What are you guys doing over the weekend? I know it's the government are like shitting themselves that everyone's going to just descend into the parks and the beaches and stuff. I'm not. I'm going to be good. I'm going to be a good boy. But it is difficult, man. So I've got my very masculine coloured cider here. Copperberg. Premium mixed fruit. Don't know if you guys can see that. I've got a few video calls lined up tonight. So I've just like messaged people and invited them to the virtual pub. So I've got a couple of mates that I haven't caught up with for a while. I'm gonna have a little drink and a little chat with them. But before that, I thought I'd come to the virtual pub with you guys. Octave was just working on a track and you had to start streaming. Sorry, man. You know this is going to be more interesting, though. Octave says, also been told that it's highly likely that I've had the big bad virus, but the symptoms were so mild that it won't amount to anything, but nothing can be confirmed. Oh, shit. Yeah, well, there are plenty of people who catch it and then are like, what do they call it? Asymptomatic, where like it basically doesn't show, like you don't show any symptoms, but you've got it. So if that is the case, mate, it's really important that you still don't go out and like infect other people, because I think the whole point of it is that like not necessarily the younger you are the more resilient you are, but like younger people seem to be like more resilient to it, but can also be the ones that spread it to other people who are less resilient. So just because you're okay, don't go out there coughing in old ladies' faces, please. Octave says, haha, you think I'd go out? Yeah, probably not. Probably wise, mate. In fact, I actually saw a video the other day, Octave, of a guy literally kicking off at like a sort of corner shop, like big fat Scottish guy, just booting the door of this like convenience store, and he was I don't know what they'd done to piss him off. But he was like, I'm Glaswegian and Sicilian. You think you want to fuck with me? And I was like, that is a heady mix of people that I wouldn't want to mess with. But it made me think of you, man. And also thought, give me an opportunity to do that excellent accent of mine. Violet says, I'm taking a drive around a post-apocalyptic wasteland in a landy whilst drinking cider and beer later. Nice. Not too many ciders and beer if you're driving, I hope. Says me, drinking one now. I've got, I went and got a little barbecue earlier. I was worried that they wouldn't even sell them at the moment because I thought like maybe they didn't want to encourage people to go out and use them in like parks and stuff. But fortunately the supermarkets don't care that much. So I was able to snap one up. And basically me and my flatmate are going to have like a barbecue in our like car park tomorrow. So we haven't really got a garden. We've got like this little like area where like the garages are basically, and we're just going to sit down there and have a barbecue and some bevs tomorrow, so that'd be nice. Violet says, driving around Chernobyl on spin tyres, so virtual. I'm not sure what you mean. Octave says, Glaswegian and Sicilian, he's probs the Scottish Godfather. Yeah, potentially, mate. But he got arrested in that video because he just kicked off at everyone, basically. Like he was like booting the door of the shop and then couldn't get in. And then he turned around to the person who was like filming. He was like, "You want some, pal?" And the guy was like, "No," and like ran off. And then he turned around to some other guys. He was like, "What about yous? Do yous want some?" And then like went and squared up to them. And the cops arrived and arrested him. It was very satisfying to watch, actually. Nothing like watching a bellend get arrested. Violet, Spin Tires is a computer game. Ah, I see. Got it. That makes sense. That makes much more sense, yeah. Well, drink as many beers and ciders as you want, as long as you're only virtually drink driving. That's all good. So Violet was there last night. Octave, sadly you missed it because you're not part of the supporters club yet, mate. But we had our first like producers live stream. So Wolfgang Law live streamed from his studio in Germany, in Berlin, and shared his screen with us. And basically we made a beast of a track. I hope Violet would agree. Absolute monster of a beat. So I've just been editing the recording of that. And chopping out all the good bits. So I'm basically it was like an hour and a half. Spent about an hour and 20 minutes making the beat, and then we did a like a little Q&A afterwards, which was pretty sweet. And I've just been chopping it up and putting it into probably like a little 5-minute teaser, just to say to other people, hey, come join the supporters club and you too can be part of this epic experience. But it was an epic experience. And then I had my own little private live stream with him this afternoon, just to sort of like tidy it up basically. And like he'd sent me a version in between, which sounds sick. Like he's done loads of work to it and it sounds amazing. And I was just like, I just want to tweak this bit and move this bit around here and and we've done that. So it's pretty much, I'd say like maybe 95% there. So he's going to send that over. And then on Tuesday, we're going to record it. Going to record the vocals, and then that'll be done. And that is month number 1 done. I can't believe how quickly it's gone already, which is a mad thing. Violet says, when I lived in Greenock, saw a dude hammering on a KFC door when I was going work one morning. That's quite scary. Yeah. And swearing to fuck about why aren't you open kind of thing at 7 a.m. Yeah, that's a reasonable time. Who doesn't want a KFC at 7 in the morning? That's the cornerstone of any healthy breakfast. Octave says, so I've had this guy that I wanted to collab, so I agreed. Problem is that when we started sharing the project files, turns out he doesn't really understand music. Don't know how to tell him he's shit. Oh, savage. Well, yeah, definitely don't drop any names on the stream, but what's the best way to go about that, I would say? Because I've been approached by people to do collabs that I haven't particularly wanted to. And I think just be honest, mate. Like, honesty is the best policy. Like, don't say to him, your track's shit, or he's shit, even more harsh. But just say to him, mate, do you know what? Like, I'm just not really feeling it. I'm sorry. Send me some more stuff in future if you want to do something again, but like this one's not for me. And like, you can't really argue with that. Like, if he does take it badly and takes it personally, that's his issue, and that's like how he's decided to interpret that. But if you say it that way, there's nothing rude or offensive about that. It's just honest, isn't it? And I've had people say that to me as well. Paula Hodge Saga says, Friday working. Hello, cheers in soda. Nice, cheers. Definitely just soda here as well. But yeah, Octave, I've had it the other way around as well, where I've approached people to collab, sent them something, and they've said exactly the same back to me, just like, sorry mate, just not feeling it. And it's like, kind of, it does sting a little bit, but at the end of the day, you can't can't argue with that. Can't make someone feel something they're not feeling. So yeah, Violet says, yep, the track is awesome. Yeah, it is. I want to play a little bit now, but nah, I'll wait to like edit the video, and then you guys can hear the little preview then. So Paula, what are you working on from home? And what time is it where you are? Because it's 6 p.m. here. So even if you're working from home, It's Friday night. Is it Good Friday today as well? I think it's like a bank holiday as well. I think you should definitely stop doing whatever you're doing and come and join the party. Paula says, play it. I can't play it at the moment. It's only for supporters right now. So I'm doing a little edit of the video, and I'm gonna share that. But I've just seen Octave's comment. But I can't play the whole track, unfortunately, because it's a supporters only thing right now. Octave's having a whole pint of water. What a bad man. Steady on, mate. Don't get too crazy. So the friend I'm chatting to at 7:30 is the other rapper on that Breadwinners EP. Do you remember I told you about? So this is the first thing we ever made, or that I ever made and released, like first like sort of bit of music I ever released. That's me at the tender age of, I think I was 18 there, or 19, and that's him, Gord, aka MC Phonetic. And yeah, I'm catching up with him at 7:30. We're going to have a little virtual pint, and it's going to be great. I was supposed to go to his, like, because he lives in London, I was supposed to go and see him last weekend, I think, and we'd had it in the diary for months, because he's one of those people who's like a real grown-up now. He's got like kids and a wife and a job and stuff, and like actual commitments and responsibilities, unlike me. So you've got to book him in like months in advance. Like literally, you've got to be like, do you want to hang out one weekend? He'll be like, yeah, I'm at a wedding. 3 months time, and you're just like, oh, fuck's sake, yeah, okay, fine. Put it in the diary. So we had it planned that I was going to go and visit last weekend, and then obviously lockdown, couldn't do it. So I haven't seen him since Christmas, I don't think, which is shit. But see him tonight and have a virtual bev. Excuse me. Matthew Fisher, hello mate, says drinking starting soon, cheers everyone, barbecue on the go, nice, kids and wife to feed before ciders start flowing. Yeah, fair enough mate, we got to take care of business first, but I'm done for the day, so I'm definitely getting on the bevs now. Octave says I might get a bit crazy and mix in some straight fucking orange juice. Oh shit son, don't develop some sort of like addictive habit, mate, because I don't want to take responsibility for that if you become an orangeaholic. Mr. Thomas says, damn it, you make me remember that I again forgot to put beer in the fridge. Schoolboy, absolute schoolboy, Mr. Thomas. I not only put ciders in the fridge already, so they were ice cold for this evening, I went and got them at like lunchtime. I also bought a bag of ice so that tomorrow when I go and sit in the sun in the car park, I mean not in the garden because I'm responsible, not in the garden, in the park, I mean. So I'm not going to be sitting in the park is what I'm saying. I'm going to be chilling in the car park with my flatmate. We're going to get a bucket with some ice in and put the bevs in that as well. So that is like double preparation. Violet says commitments 2.4. Nope. Yeah, it's well, like I don't know. Sometimes I think, what am I doing with my life? Maybe I should just grow up and be a grown up. And then other times I'm like, thank fuck I haven't done that. Crack open a bev. Matthew Fisher says, spit a few bars from the song, a taster, believe it in its full glory for the supporters. That's not a bad idea. To be fair, I haven't actually got the instrumental at the moment, so I couldn't spit a few bars for you. Maybe I could play you the first verse, maybe, in a little bit. We'll see what the numbers are like, how many people come, and if we get a few more people, then maybe I will, maybe. Paula says, I'm working at a shawarma place, voluntary. Nice. Shawarma is in like a wrap. That's what a shawarma is, isn't it? Like an Arabic burrito or something. I've just got to check that now. Maybe I'm totally wrong. A Middle Eastern cuisine consisting of meat cut into thin slices, stacked in a cone-like shape, and roasted on a slowly turning vertical rotisserie or spit. Yeah, I thought so. Cool. Are you still able to like serve food where you are, Paula? Because basically all the like restaurants and stuff have shut here in the UK, which is awful. And I'm absolutely gutted that my favourite Chinese restaurant is closed. And there's only like one Chinese takeaway in the whole of the area that I live in, which seems to be doing delivery. And it takes like 2 hours to arrive and costs loads of money and isn't very good. So like I definitely can't wait for lockdown to finish so that I can go and get a proper Chinese from my favourite restaurant. Paula says it's 7:14 here. Well, then you definitely need to stop working, especially if it's voluntary, unless they're paying you in shawarmas, in which case, fair play. Violet says, I've got pineapple cider in the fridge chilling for later. Very nice. Violet says, recommitments, as Bob Monkhouse said, growing old is compulsory, growing up isn't. Exactly. My parents, my mum and I think my uncle said a similar thing once, which was when I was a kid, I didn't really understand it. They were like, yeah, we don't. They both said this independently. I don't really understand it. I sort of, I've got older physically, but I still feel the same inside. I still feel like a kid inside. And I was just like, as a kid, I was like, oh, I don't understand. But now I'm older, I'm like, yeah, no, I get that. 100% get that. Octave says, I have an unreleased song of yours in my camera roll, the Sex Hungry Crow rap. When is the official release? That's another one for the supporters, mate. I've actually done it already. Got Odd Chap to, in fact, no, I got Power of Stella to produce that one. Made a beat specially for it. Got Ice-T featuring on the vocals, and I name drop you in it specifically as well. So it's already made, it's already recorded, it's already released, but it's supporters only, mate. Paula says, yes, a sandwich, drool. Nice. I could do a shawarma, to be fair. Octave says, I want Chinese, McDonald's, Japanese food. I want all of that stuff, mate. And Mr. Thomas says, yeah, I'm starting to understand that as well. 22 years old here. Wow, fair play, mate. Well, if you've got like a wife and kids at 22 years old, you are definitely winning in the grown-up game compared to me, because I'm 34 and I haven't got any of that. Violet says, it still confuses me that I live beyond 30. Yeah, and again, I know that feeling. So I had a friend, well, I still do, have a friend who, like, I met her when I was about 21 and she was 27, I think. And we were just friends. And I'll tell you a funny story, actually, because like I wanted to be more than that, but I blew it spectacularly, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But we ended up just becoming friends and staying friends ever since. And that was like, I don't know, 13, 14 years ago now. And she used to say she didn't see herself ever living beyond 40, like, because she was just like, I just can't imagine it. Like, I don't want to. I'm gonna drink myself to death before that happens. And like, I think she is 40 now. And it's just hilarious because she's basically exactly the same. Like, she's come to terms with that, the fact that she's reached that age. But other than that, like, she's exactly the same. Still loves a bev. Still has exactly the same sense of humour. And it's like, it's just proof that age doesn't matter, because she is literally exactly the same as she was when I met her. Maybe slightly less wild now, because she did do some mad shit when we were that age. Not that mad, but like, you know, she's a little bit more settled now, but like not by much. So I think what she thought 40 was going to be like is very different to what it actually is like, because it's basically the same for her. But yeah, the funny story with that was, we both met on the first day of us both starting this job at a call centre, which was like the shittest job I've ever had. Actually, is it? I don't know. I've had some terrible jobs. One of the shittest jobs I've ever had. But it was hilarious because like there's just this massive company of people, maybe like 150 people, all in this like open plan call centre. And it was like being back at school, because you had like the like cool sporty ones, like you had like the hot girls, you had, and like it felt like exactly like being back at school, but because we were all grown-ups, it was just way more fun. And like I think everyone was a bit more sure of themselves as well, so you didn't have all the like anxieties and hang-ups that you have at school. We were just like, this is brilliant, we can just like fucking mess about and have a great time. And all sorts of stuff used to go on, like people having sex in the toilets and like people doing coke on the desks and stuff. It was a crazy place. Oddly, that company shut down in the end. Don't know why. But me and her met at, like, on the training to work at that job, and we got on really well instantly. But also, I was like, oi, quite fancy that. And then we got chatting, and turned out we were into like similar music. And there was a DJ and a rapper that we both liked playing in Bristol like a couple of weekends later. So I was like, oh, we should totally go. And she's like, yeah, I'm up for that, wicked. And I was like, awesome, cool. So I was like, yeah, sort of got a date with this girl. All right. And then went out earlier in the day, probably about, well, it was about midday, I think, and there was some football match on, and I'm not even into football, that's how pathetic this is, but I got absolutely trolleyed in the middle of the day watching some football match that I don't even remember or know who it was or understood while I was watching it. Got absolutely hammered, and then went home and passed out on like the sofa in the front room, and then woke up at like whenever it was, 8 or something at night, with my flatmate Laura like leaning over me, just slapping me in the face, going like, wake up. And I was like, huh? What was going on? Haven't you got that date with that girl from work tonight? And I was like, huh? Yeah, oh no. And like checked my watch or checked my phone, and I was just like, oh no, shit, like I'm late. And so I like rang her, no answer. Fortunately, she only lived like a few streets away, so I was like, I'm just going to go round. So I went round there, knocked on the door, no answer. Rang her, no answer. I was there for about 20 minutes before eventually she answered, and she was like, not coming. And I was like, oh, go on, please. And she was like, no, like, you're so late. And I was like, we'd arranged to meet at like 6 or something. And I had to basically beg. And then eventually she did. And I think I got like really hammered again the same night. And it just went nowhere, but we stayed really good friends, and we still are friends. So there's a sort of happy ending, but like the ultimate friend zone ending. Yeah, so don't do that, guys. If you ever get a date with someone that you fancy, don't go and get smashed a few hours before and pass out. I think that's some pretty solid advice, to be fair. Probably most of you don't need it, but like clearly at that age I did. To be fair to me, I was like 21, maybe not even that. Probably was 21 when that happened, so I'm not going to give myself too hard a time. Although, to be fair, Mr. Thomas is 22 and has like a full family. So let's read some of these comments. Mr. Thomas, sitting next to my 3D printer that I finally got working. Sweet. Octave, isolation has turned me into a right weeb. Isolation, mate. No, I'm kidding. You seem... I don't really know what a weeb is, but it sounds like derogatory. Mr. Thomas, I don't even have a girlfriend yet, but I'm starting to understand that sometimes you just have to do adult things and work a full-time job. Fair. Have I misread something then? I thought you said you've got to like sort out your... I'm getting you mixed up with Matthew Fisher. Matthew Fisher's got the wife and the kids and the barbecue. Mr. Thomas has the full-time job, but not a GF. Understood. Sorry, mate. It's because both of your names start with M. Clearly, that's enough to confuse me. Violet, I fully expected the universe to Monty Python foot me, like so many things should have killed me, both reckless actions and medical reasons. Fair enough. Won't delve too much into that, but I can relate to the Monty Python foot. I'm amazed that hasn't happened to me yet. And Octave said, I'm in a similar position where I've been best friends with this girl for 3 years now, but my goddamn fear blocks me from becoming more. Octave! You know exactly what I'm going to say to that, mate, don't you? Surely. Have you not listened to, what's my song called? Second Chance. And numerous other songs where I've said the same thing. If you like someone, mate, life is too short, go and make it happen. When you say your fear blocks you from becoming more, what do you mean? Like, have you not even told her? Or, come on, talk to me, Octave. Talk to me. Bring it to the group. Let's work through this together. And Violet, in particular, you can contribute like the woman's point of view and tell Octave exactly what he should do. But I can tell him exactly what he should do already. Tell her. Matt Fisher, feeling old is an odd one. For me at 47, yeah, I'm old. It wasn't the obvious life stuff you would think that triggered me feeling old. Not marriage, not the birth of my kids. It was when I had to be in the room with the vet when our ancient cat had to be put down. She had cancer shit. That was when I felt grown up / old at last. Fair enough. I mean, anything can like trigger it, I guess. I'm a weird one because I have like weird peaks and troughs of feeling like old and not old. And it is like weird things that trigger it. Like for me, I think it's like when things that I think weren't very long ago are really long ago. That's when I feel old. Because like, so to me, what's something, I'm trying to think of an example. So actually, no, I can totally think of one. So I've been watching Tiger King recently. I may have talked about it a little bit. And there's an episode of Louis Theroux, his Weird Weekends, where he meets the guy from Tiger King. And it's from like 2010 or something. And I was like, oh, like that's not very old. And then I was like, actually, that's 10 years. That's quite a long time. But to me, 2010 doesn't seem long ago at all. But like, but it is. 10 years is a long time. And then even like, 2005 doesn't seem like a million years ago, but it kind of is. And like that's when I moved to Bristol. And if I think of all the things that have happened since then, it's like a lifetime, like a total lifetime. And the person I was before I moved to Bristol, I literally am a different person now. Like, I've lost weight since then. I've like started businesses since then. I've like who I am as a person has fundamentally changed in that time. Yet that date doesn't feel that long ago. So it's weird shit like that makes me feel old and not old. Like, I don't know. Anywho, Mr. Thomas, it happens to the best of us getting things mixed up. Yeah. Violet Vivid says, well, I can give the firebrand lesbian view, wink, as good a view as any. Altiv says she doesn't know, just don't want to risk ruining a friendship. And Violet says, I figured that was the fear. Love. And my only relationship lasted 2 weeks, and she broke up with me the day I was hospitalised. Oh, mate. To be fair, though, that does happen to everyone. There's a movie called High Fidelity with John Cusack, and he talks about his, like, I think it's his 5 most painful breakups of all time. And like some of them are like what you'd expect, where it's like a couple of years and they have like a house together or something like that. And then one of them is like, I can't remember the girl's name. It's like Jenny Fisher. Like 2 days when when I was in 6th grade, and like absolutely broke my heart. And they're like, that's in your top 5, and it's like, yeah. And I can totally relate to that. Like obviously, I've had like longer relationships that have broken up and have been incredibly painful, but like in terms of the amount of emotional pain that I felt, I broke up with someone after 2 days when I was in secondary school, when I was like 13 or something. And like I was probably as emotionally like gutted and wounded by that as I was after breaking up with someone after like a year, because it's like when you're younger and like the emotions are stronger, and it's the first time you've experienced that sort of thing, so it feels more like powerful. But everyone has been through that, mate. So like, and that literally happened. The same thing happened to me, mate. I wasn't hospitalised, but I was off school sick. And do you know how I fucking found out? My mate called me and was like, oh, do you know Nikki started going out with someone else? And I was like, I was ill as well. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, she started going out with a guy. I can't remember his name. Robin, I think it was. I can tell you remember. It was fucking Robin. And I was just like, oh, okay. And you've got to like pretend to not care that much either. So I was on the phone and I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And then I like went up to my room and I was like, absolutely gutted. But Violet says, dude, that's fucking cold of her. It is fucking cold. And like, just because you're young and just because you were not together very long doesn't like detract from how harsh that would have felt, and also how fucking out of order that was of her. But don't let that like prevent you from taking chances again in the future, mate, because life's full of shit like that. And like if you've basically just got to take risks. Like I'm not great at taking risks like that, to be honest. I sort of play it quite safely, and there's lots of relationships that I've probably not got into because I'm just like, well, I can't, it doesn't seem like a dead cert that it'll work out, and I've probably like lost out because of that. But my advice to you would be, certainly if there's some person that you really really like just give it a go, man. Paula says, check your message. Food. Oh, if you sent me something on Facebook, I'm going to have a quick little look, especially if it's food related. Oh, got a notification. Oh, it's that I'm streaming. I've got a notification about myself streaming. Okay. I'll check it later, Paula, if you have sent me something. Where have these gone? Mr. Thomas says, I have the same at work. I'm quite young and feel young, but at swimming I feel quite old as I teach 12 to 15 year olds. Yeah. Well, mate, a lot of people that listen to my music are like younger. And I saw, like, I did that song Crapocalypse recently. I posted it on TikTok. And I felt like a fucking pedo just using TikTok, but I posted it on there. That's my issue. I need to get over that because I know that it's like it's definitely like an up and coming platform and something I need to get to grips with. But I was just like, I feel like the fucking Fonz from Happy Days here. So I posted it on there, and I got one comment, and the comment was just like, "This feels like something from the noughties," and I was just like, I don't even know if that's like a diss or not. I genuinely don't know. Like, is that guy like calling me old and saying that this song sounds like old, or I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know what that meant. So I was just like, thanks ? But whatever. But yeah, anyway, Mr. Thomas, the reason I said that was because like a lot of my listeners are younger. Like Octave is younger, I think. He's like, how old are you now, Octave? Like 17, 18? So yeah, I do get lots of people who listen to my stuff commenting, and I think like, oh god, I'm so much older. Like, it makes me feel old. But I don't know, it's life, isn't it, mate? Everyone's at different levels, and there are people older than us as well, and probably like we make them feel old. So everything kind of like fits into everything else. God, I'm getting philosophical now because I've had almost an entire bottle of Copperberg. Octave says, I think she regrets it because she won't leave me alone now. Yes, mate. I hope you tell her to do one. Effie says, I'm so sorry for you. Can relate here. I had a similar story recently. I'm sorry, Effie. Effie, are you... That sounds like a female name. Are you female? If so, maybe Effie and Octave should... Imagine that. Imagine if like my offbeat live stream was the reason that like two people got together and lived happily ever after. I'd be so pleased. Violet, all my previous relationships lasted either 2 months or 3.5 years, never anything else, and almost all cheated, lied, shat on me somehow. Sorry to hear that, Violet. It sounds like you're happy now though. Like, I've heard you talk about your beautiful girlfriend quite a few times, so you sound like very happy with her. Which is great. And like, that's what I've learned about relationships, is that like, or not even just relationships, anything that ends, like, that you're upset about, nothing else that happens after that could have happened if that thing hadn't ended. So like, every job that I've ever been fired from led me to get my next job or start my business. Every relationship that's ended has led me to meet the next person that I've like got with, and basically every door that closes, another one opens, to put it in a sort of cheesy cliche type of way. It's true. It is true. So sometimes you've got to endure the shit so that you can embrace the next phase, which is better. God, cider makes me smart. Mr. Thomas is saying, haha, it's getting big. Talking about TikTok. Cool. I was worried what you're talking about there now, out of context. Octave says, I've never touched TikTok. And you're 17 in May. Cool, man. Oh, I hope you haven't got to celebrate your birthday in fucking lockdown. That'll be shit. What date, Octave, is it? In May. I'll send you a happy birthday voice note by email, guys. I haven't got his phone number. Effie, yeah, I'm quite a young listener, and I was supposed to sit my GCSEs this year. Oh shit! So Effie is a young listener, supposed to sit at GCSEs. That sounds about like 16, 17, Octave. Just saying. No, I'm not going to be like a teenage matchmaker. That is just fucking weird, actually. Thank you, Effie. I'm glad you are listening to my music. I hope you're enjoying it, and gutted that your GCSEs have probably been cancelled or postponed, I'm gathering. Yeah, that would piss me off if that happened to me. Matthew Fisher says, go for it. You won't regret the things you do, but you will always remember and regret those chances that you did not take. Couldn't agree more, mate. And I've written numerous songs about that. So as Octave knows, because he like I think is my number one fan and knows all my lyrics. So if you know all the lyrics to Second Chance, mate, you need to like just embody it and live that shit. The like third verse, not the first one. Matthew Fisher says, I'm feeling old now. Effie says, yes. Octave says, hey, Effie, yeah. I am going to step back now because like, I genuinely don't want to get involved in this, but, I'd love it so much. Violet says, yep, we've been together over 9 years now. Shit. That's a long time. That's amazing. Congratulations. And like, if you've managed to get past your 3.5 year record by like staggering degree, what's that, 3 times the length of your longest relationship prior to that, then that's a pretty good sign that this is the one, right? 9 years. Fucking hell. Yeah, I won't even tell you how long my longest relationship's been, but it's definitely not been 9 years. May the 13th, is it, Octave? I tell you what, so I've got this app called Todoist where I can like put stuff in it and set reminders. Was it the 13th, did you say? May 13th, Octave birthday. There you go. Octave has emailed me before, so I've got your email address. On May 13th, mate, I've set myself a reminder now. I'm going to send you a little happy birthday voice note. Do you know what? I might even sing you happy birthday in my Glaswegian accent. How about that? That'll make your day, right? Especially if you're in lockdown. Oh, that'll piss you off so much. It'd be great. Effie says, I'm taken, by the way. Oh, tragic. Fair enough, though. They've cancelled. We're getting predicted grades. What, your GCSEs? They just give you like a result based on what they think you'll get. You don't get to resit them in 6 months or a year or something. They just like predict what you'd get, and that's your fucking GCSEs. That is savage if that's the case, if that's how it works. Because like, what if you've like slacked all year, which is exactly what I would have done, and then you were going to pull it out of the bag on the day? That is, oh mate, that is not cool. Mr. Thomas, good to hear that they are not setting you back because of this, Effie. That is true, I guess. I mean, I suppose that's one good thing, but nah, I'm not sure I agree with that. Violet, yep, I was bricking it at 3.5 years, I bet you were. I still can't see what she sees me. Shut up. And Effie and Octave say, yep, predicted grades for both of you guys. That is bullshit, don't you reckon? Surely you must be able. Well, I don't know how it works. I'm not gonna say how it should or shouldn't be done. But like, yeah, I was having a conversation with my mate literally a couple of weeks ago about how he, all through school, all he ever used to do was like slack off and not work very hard and then pull it out on the day. And that he did that for his GCSEs. So if he was doing his GCSEs now during Corona, he'd be fucked, wouldn't he? That's shit, mate. Effie, I mean, my school does mocks every half term, so they know my predicted grades. Hope my teachers are nice. I hope they're nice too. I'm sure they will be, and that you sound like you deserve for them to be. So fingers crossed. Matthew Fisher says same for A levels predicted grades. Oh, I mean, like, I guess it's cool that you haven't got to do the exams, right? Like, no one enjoys doing exams, but and actually, if you're the sort of person that like struggles with I can see Octave shouting something and it's going to put me off. I don't know what he's going to say. If you're the sort of person that struggles with like pressure on the day of doing exams and like you don't perform very well in an exam environment, if you've smashed it all year with like coursework and stuff, then maybe you get a better grade in your predicted grades than you would have done if you'd done the exam. So it could work for some people, but not everyone. Why are you shouting, Octave? What are you? I only sat one subject this year, so it's too worried. Fuck, I'm not. Oh, okay, I see, right. I only sat one subject this year, so I'm not worried. Got it. All right, mate, chill out. You're going to start kicking some convenience store doors soon and telling people you're half Sicilian. Chill, mate. Mr. Thomas, likely based on some averages you get through the year. This is why I always start the year putting in a lot of effort and start slacking through the year. Nice, I like it. Nice strategy. It's also funny that your name is Mr. Thomas because it makes you sound like a teacher. In fact, I had a maths teacher called Mr. Thomas. So are you him? Maybe you're him. That'd be crazy if that was the case. I suspect it's not. Violet says, man, if they did predictive for me, I'd have been fucked. Many of my teachers hated me and my go fuck yourself attitude. Yeah. All right. Okay, guys, I've got an interesting question for you and I'll share mine. What is the, like, either if you're at school now or if you're older and you went to school, what was the, like, the most outrageous thing you ever saw a pupil, a student do to a teacher? Because that was always like the best thing that happened at school, wasn't it? When one of the naughty kids like kicked off and like swore at a teacher or did something, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" I remember two, and no, they weren't the same person. I thought they were the same person for a sec, but they weren't. One of them, one of them was like a really good mate of mine, a guy called Suv, S-U-V. Short for Sutherland, which was his surname, in music one time, kicked off at like another one of my mates called Rog. Can't remember what Rog did to piss Suv off, but he did something. And then Suv got up, like punched Rog, and then the teacher who like we all hated, Mr. Dixon, he was a right bellend. He had like a really shit haircut, and everyone used to call him Ferret Head because his head just looked like he had a ferret on it. So Suv like kicked off, punched Rog. Didn't actually punch him. He like did like a bongo thing on his head, but like really hard and aggressively. He was just like fuck off, and just like did this thing on his head. And then everyone was like, oh my god, Suv and Rog having a fight. And then Mr. Dixon was just like, all right boys, stop it right now. And then Suv turned around and was like, fuck off, you ferret headed. I think he called him the C-bomb, which I won't say on the mic. And threw a book at him and then stormed out. It was brilliant. And then what was the other good thing I saw? It was a kid called Ricky in science, had done something naughty, can't remember what, and the teacher came up to him, and this teacher was a dickhead as well, Mr. O'Hare he was called, and he had like really, really bad breath, came up and like shouted in Rick's face, and like I think he just thought Ricky was going to stand there and just do nothing, but in the end he like this kid didn't give a shit. He was quite a naughty kid, just turned around and like screamed back at the teacher and then picked up a chair and launched at him. That was mint as well. But the best thing ever, which I didn't see sadly because I went to a different school, was there was a kid he was like easily like the naughtiest kid in my whole town. Like when I first encountered him, he didn't even go to school because he'd been expelled from both schools in the town. So he was just like a myth and like a legend. And my first ever encounter of him was him punching a bus driver, and I was terrified of him. He was a like scary guy. But my mate, the same one actually, who I was talking about earlier, who coasted all through school and then pulled it out on the day, he basically got that kid expelled from school because they were playing football, and I can't remember what he did, but he did something that caused this kid to like I think maybe they might have even been playing football indoors, and like my mate passed the ball to this other guy Craig, and Craig like skied it and smashed a window or something like that. And then the teacher, the headmistress of their school, came and started like shouting at Craig, and Craig gave an old woman a nipple cripple, like nipple twist, and then ran away and got expelled, obviously, and like ruined his whole academic career. And I don't know what he's doing now, but that would have been pretty fucking epic to see that. Imagine that, being at school and seeing someone do that to your headmistress. Not condoning that behaviour, to be honest, because like basically it's abuse and it's an elderly woman. But when you were a kid at school, if you saw that would be like mind blowing. And one other thing that same guy Craig did, I remember he had beef with like one of the hard kids from my school, a guy called Lee. Probably shouldn't be saying all these names on stream, not that they're going to be watching them, but I am sort of like I'm I'm like one of those people, like one of those, those like mafia documentaries where someone like it does an expose and tells all the stories. I need to go into like witness protection after this. But Lee, who was like one of the hard kids at my school, there was like a rumour that he had beef with Craig, and Craig was like the hardest and the scariest kid because he'd been expelled from both schools. And there was this rumour going around our school like, oh, Craig's going to come and fight Lee. And we were like, oh my God, that's so bad. And Lee was like, I'm not scared, fucking pussy, I'll take him if he comes here. And then all day, everyone was winding him up all day, going like, oh, what are you going to do? Craig's coming. Craig's going to come after school and get you. Because I'm not bothered. And I'd be fucking bothered. I'd be well bothered if Craig was after me. But Lee didn't let on that he gave a shit anyway. And then right at the end of the day, and I used to get the same bus as Lee, right at the end of the day, like literally whenever school finishes, like 3:30, we like got onto the bus. And as Lee got onto the bus, he was like, yeah, told you he wasn't going to come and get me, fucking pussy. Got on the bus and then sat down, and then this is proper scary shit. The fire exit door on the bus, because obviously we were sat at the back and Lee was sat in the back middle because he was like the hardest. That's where you sit, obviously, on a bus. But yeah, he sat down and was like, fucking pussy. And then this door just opened from outside. And his hand reached in and grabbed him out, and it was Craig. And Craig dragged him out off the bus in front of everyone, had a fucking BB gun, and like put the BB gun in this kid's face, and basically just like started screaming at him and being like, what are you saying about me? You're not scared of me and all this shit. And like basically, yeah, everyone knew after that Craig was not to be messed with. We kind of knew that anyway, but like, yeah, it's pretty scary times. And people think that I don't come from like a hood place, but like that is a well ghetto story. Anyway, I'm going to read some of your comments now, because I hope you've, in the time it's taken me to tell you that, I hope you've told me some amazing stuff about your school experiences and the worst things you saw people do to teachers. Right. Octave says, I've seen tables thrown towards a teacher. Classic. My sister told me about one of her teachers throwing knives around the classroom, home economics class, at misbehaving students. Shit. Doesn't sound like your sister's teachers mess about, mate. Violet says, I myself told one of my PE teachers to go fuck himself when he banned me from PE for breaking a hockey stick on another shin guard. Didn't know they had a shin guard. Okay. That's pretty savage. But again, school times, isn't it? Like, you do stuff like that at school. Octave says, I've had a teacher yell at me for being knocked out by a football during PE. Harsh, mate. I was sent home that day with a concussion. Mate, doesn't sound like you have the best time at school, to be honest. It sounds like me and you had probably, like your experience reminds me of mine. Like, that's exactly the sort of thing that would have happened to me, mate. And I've just been like, how are you going to bollock me for getting knocked out? But they do. Mr. Thomas says, well, they're not that bad. But the first is slamming a deodorant can so hard it exploded. Nice, classic. The second, we needed to clock in with a badge every class. Send one with all the badges. Nice, yeah, cheeky little skive. Mr. Thomas saying that I've done a stint of 4 years in special ed, but they were super strict, so you just didn't dare get out of line. Fair enough. And Violet says, my form teacher in high school was full on picking on me. Eventually council had to get involved. Damn. And our form room was a science lab. I snuck in before lesson and set all the gas taps ablaze then. Sat there cross-legged, waiting for her to walk in with like 16 gas taps blazing aflame as she shit herself and panicked. Yeah, I can believe that. That would be quite a scary sight to walk in and see like a cross-legged student with 16 like taps on fire. That would elicit fear in me also. Octave, me and my friends managed to get this gay German English teacher fired because we found his porn profile on a site I shall not name. The news spread through the school and made its way to the higher ups. I'm not going to comment on that because, like, I don't know, just because he's gay, like, that's not enough of a reason to get fired, I don't think. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know the full story. I don't want to get into it. But I'm more up for hearing stories about people throwing chairs at teachers, to be honest. What are some other like mad things that happened at my school? I'm trying to think. I got in trouble quite a few times, but it was never like I never swore at teachers or anything like that. But I would always like. So I got in real trouble one time because my friend created a website. He was like, this was before it was like easy to make websites, but my mate was like a bit of a geek, and this was in like year 10 or 11. He made a website like for people to upload drawings of teachers at school, and I'm like quite good at art, to be honest. Not to toot my own horn, but I can draw a little bit. And I drew like a pretty realistic picture of one of the PE teachers doing something inappropriate with one of the students, and it's quite a lot of like casual homophobia in the stream. This was like 20 years ago, to be fair, so a different time. And that got circulated around school, and they knew it was me just because it was so well drawn, and I got in trouble for being good at drawing, but also drawing like something unpleasant. So that was the sort of shit I used to get in trouble for. I never like swore at teachers. I never threw chairs around. I never really got in fights. It was always things like that I'd get in shit for. Octave says, I'm far more gymnastic than athletic. Hate PE. Isn't like being athletic and being gymnastic are sort of the same thing, aren't they? Or do you mean you're good at like bouncing around or like swinging around on stuff, but you're not good at running? I'd have thought like you're either good at sporty stuff or not. I was not. I definitely was not, and I'm still not now, really. But like back then, I was. I was just like lazy. So very often I would just like not bring my PE kit and be told I had to sit out, or I'd like just fake being ill so I didn't have to do it. And in fact, that's how I became good friends with Suv, who was the one that called our music teacher a ferret-headed C-bomb. Because me and him just used to like sit out of PE together and get chatting for ages. That's how we became mates, which paid off because he was like a big guy, and so if I ever got in shit, I was just like, oh, what does Suv have to say about that? And then he'd just appear and they'd be like, oh, sorry. I'd be like, yeah, you are. I was basically Malfoy, and Suv was like my Crab and Goyle. Violet, I got thrown in the school pond 3 times. The last time I climbed out and glared at the boys who did it, and I said, I just want to ask you, tiny dick fucknuts, did I fucking skim? Nice, that's a good response. Then broke the biggest one's nose. Even better. That's an even better response. Octave says, I'm good at trampolining and being generally flexible, but I'm bad at football, running, etc. Fair enough. You're asthmatic, aren't you, Octave? I think I remember you saying. That would account for that. Mr. Thomas, now remembering I did have one teacher that threw stuff all the time. Anything in reach, including staplers and pens. Restream says, congratulations. I've received 100 messages today with Restream chat. Thanks, Restream. And Matthew Fisher says, gotta go, boss stream as always. Thank you, mate. Stay safe and well, people. Remember, unless you feel the fear and do it anyway, you aren't really living. You're just existing. Take chances and live life. I love it. Thank you very much, Matt Fisher. Epic bit of advice there, and certainly sentiment that I would echo. So yeah, Octave in particular, mate, with that situation with that girl, just eat that frog, man. Yeah. Cool. Right. I'm going to shoot off myself at 7. Like I say, I've got a call lined up with my mate, and I need to have a bite to eat before then. So I'm going to stick around for another 5 minutes. Do you know what? I will play a little bit of that beat now. Since you guys have listened to me chat shit for a whole hour, I'll reward you by playing a little bit of this track. So this has got the vocals on it, and New Bite's just joined. I don't know if he's just joined, but or is he or she actually. New Bite has just like messaged for the first time and said, very unrelated to the topic at hand, but have you ever tried your hand at any other genres other than hip hop and its subgenres? Not really, mate. I would only say like hip hop and swing hop or electro swing, but with like rap over it. I haven't tried like anything genuinely musical like singing, because my singing voice is atrocious. If you ask Charlene Ray, who's the female singer from the Swing Hoppers, she will absolutely confirm that I can't sing for shit. So no is the answer to that question. Just hip hop and like other types of music, but that I've rapped over, so it's still basically like my bit's always been the same. So yeah. What would you like to hear me try? If I was going to try my hand at another genre, what would you suggest? Cool. All right, so I'm going to play a little bit of this track because I think you guys have earned it. So this is the first track that the Supporters Club has helped create. So first week we came up with the idea. Second week we came up with the lyrics. Third week we came up with the beat, which was the one we just did. And next week I'm going to be recording it. But right now I'm going to play you a little bit of a snippet of it. I'll play you the first verse. I won't play you the chorus because I recorded the vocals over a different beat, and they've been auto-tuned to match this beat, and it doesn't sound quite how I would want it to sound if I was doing it myself. So I'll just play you the first bit, but the beat is the fucking sick bit. Right, ready? Is that a good enough intro?
So lame, but I've been single for 6 months now, so I think it's time to get back in the game. And I don't wanna go out on the town with thousands of clowns down in their rounds. So even though I'm a little adverse to it, it feels like this is the only alternative. Okay, let's upload some photos and write a little bit about me. But how do I squeeze my whole personality in a description the size of a tweet? Now I'm done and ready to get started, but I still feel kind of afraid. I've heard all types of horror stories, but surely they can't be as bad as they say.
There you go. So for those of you familiar with my back catalogue, the content might sound familiar or might sound similar, and that's because it is a sequel to an existing track that I've done, but it's told from a different perspective, a different type of point of view. So yeah, I'll leave you to let that one stew, and you can try and make of that what you will. Unless, of course, you would like to join the Supporters Club, in which case you can access everything. You can access the first stream where we came up with the idea. You can access the lyrics. You can access the beat. And next Tuesday, you can also access me recording the vocals and then get the whole track. So yeah, Violet Vivid is already part of the Supporters Club, and she is in fact responsible for a major bit of the story. So thank you for that, Violet. And thank you for your support, obviously, as well. And some of the guys in the comments are saying, Newbite is saying, it reminded me of Just Clicked. Maybe it did. And Octave says, just clicked, ... Again, maybe. But that's all I can say. That's all I can say. I can't give too much away. So he says, it sounds great. Thank you very much. Brendan, hello mate, says, no, I've been quiet, been here for like 15 minutes, the song bangs, and it'll be more active next time I catch a stream. Wicked, thank you Brendan, good to see you, man, thanks for coming along. I have not forgotten about your track either. I'm actually planning to record it this weekend. It's on my list, it's on my to-do-ist app. So we'll get that done for you, mate. And yeah, I'm gonna shoot off now. Thank you for coming along as well, man. Good to see you. I am gonna skedaddle, guys, because I've got to have a bite to eat, and then I'm gonna be catching up with MC Phonetic, my one of my best mates from school, and I look forward to it. So yeah, have a wicked weekend. Do be sensible and don't go outside too much. I know it's going to be hot and lovely, but do try and be good and stay in and stay safe, as Violet says, and I will catch you all on Monday. Nice one. I'll catch you in a bit. Take it easy. Mwah!